How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store is running its spring sale. A lot of great deals available, and here we are going to look at some super cheap deals under the price of $3. Surprisingly, there's a lot of great stuff under the price of $3. I feel like a lot of games are hitting new lows, so without further ado, let's get right into it, and let's start things off with Dragon Age Inquisition Deluxe Edition, $2.99 for Dragon Age Inquisition. I feel like this is the cheapest that Dragon Age Inquisition has been, and to be perfectly honest, a lot of EA titles are hitting new lows. You see this game, you see a Burnout Paradise Remastered, which we'll get to in a little bit. That deal was so good that we had to do its own video on it, but it'll be a part of this as well. Star Wars Squadrons, Star Wars Battlefront 2, I believe. A couple of other titles are hitting new lows, and hey, even if EA isn't the most loved publisher in the world, they do have some fantastic games in their vault catalog, and Dragon Age Inquisition is a damn good one. And I look at Dragon Age Inquisition as also BioWare, maybe not at its peak, but pretty damn close to it. I thought Dragon Age Inquisition was a really solid game, all things considered. A well-made RPG early on in the PlayStation 4 era, so early that it was a cross-gen game. Yeah, Dragon Age Inquisition did, in fact, release on the PlayStation 3 as well, but enjoyable game all around. Good bit of replayability, sizable amount of content. It's a BioWare RPG. You kind of know what to expect, and it's certainly better than some of their recent outings, to say the least. Next up, we have This War of Mine, The Little Ones. 90% off for $1.99. This is a great deal for This War of Mine. It's just a game you gotta know what you're getting yourself into. It is a game that's incredibly grim, incredibly dark, and kind of does a good job of showcasing the actual horrors of war. You see a lot of war-based games, and they tend to go in the route of, oh, you play as the soldier that's actually getting stuff done. But the reality of war is much more grim than that, in that it's a game of survival, and a grim game of survival at that. And This War of Mine kind of puts a spotlight on that and does it in a really compelling way, a dark and grim aesthetic as well. It's a heartstring-pulling game, and I just think it's incredibly well done, and 11-Bit Studios does a very good job with that in general, with like Frostpunk as well. But This War of Mine for $1.99, great deal, definitely would recommend that. Next up, Castle Crashers Remastered. Now, it's $4.49 if you don't have PS Plus, but it's $2.99 with PlayStation Plus, so I'm going to recommend it at $2.99 at the under $3 tier. Castle Crashers is an awesome game, and it's a game that is best played with friends. I know some people push back on that notion that, oh, you can play Castle Crashers solo. Look, if you want a fun beat-em-up, yeah, you can play the game solo, but I just think Castle Crashers is a blast with a squad of friends. 4 people, just a great time. Definitely a game that you guys can enjoy. Art style aged pretty gracefully. It's got like a cartoony look, still charming to this day, and for $2.99, I think it's a great pickup. Definitely would give that a look. Next up, couple of arcade racers, both from EA. Need for Speed Heat, 95% off for $2.99. I mentioned this recently, but kind of surprising to me how many of my boys have been playing Need for Speed Heat. Like, randomly, I'll just go online and I'll see people on Need for Speed Heat. I think some of that is attributed to this game just going super cheap, and it's a fun arcade racer. Like, I don't know why and what propelled a bunch of my friends, and again, that's anecdotes, to check this game out, but it was multiple people. Like, it would be one thing if, oh, one buddy of mine decided to check out Need for Speed Heat out of nowhere, but multiple people on my friends list playing Need for Speed Heat just bewildered me. Now, Need for Speed Heat is a really good arcade racer, and if you want to see Need for Speed done well, the most recent one that's quite good is Heat. Unbound was okay, but Unbound was a little bit of a shift that I don't think a lot of people are gonna, you know, be super appreciative of. $2.99 for Heat, I think, is a fantastic deal, and Unbound is still holding up its price point, but for $2.99, this is a great deal. Definitely give that a look. And then also, Burnout Paradise Remastered, 90% off for $1.99. We talked about this yesterday, but this deal is just absolutely tremendous. Burnout Paradise is an excellent arcade racer that, yes, it came out back in 2008, so it does show its age a little bit. Some of the gameplay design choices aren't ideal for a 2024 audience, but you're still getting an awesome soundtrack. You're getting a fun open world to explore. You're getting a lot of content with all of the different activities, billboards, so on and so forth. Visuals hold up nicely enough. I mean, 2008 for a game that's 16 plus years old, which is so insane to think about, I feel like it holds up fairly well, and for $1.99, you can't beat this price, so definitely check that out. Next up, some horror titles, Outlast and Outlast 2. Kinda by the book recommendations here with Outlast and Outlast 2. These are games that I feel like people can always enjoy. Obviously, thematically, it would be better to pick it up in October for Halloween or whatnot, but like, yo, maybe some of you guys, most of you guys probably don't care about when you play horror games. It's just about having a good atmosphere and you enjoying that genre. Horror has never really been my cup of tea, but Outlast definitely pushed the envelope to me. You know, it was one of those games that when I played Outlast, I was a little bit bugged out. I was like, holy hell, they are really pushing it as far as how far they can go. And as I am recording this video, guys, somebody on my Steam friends list, I just got a pop-up in my corner, just jumped on Need for Speed Heat. I cannot make this thing, I cannot make this up. That legitimately just happened, and I am so bewildered by multiple people playing Need for Speed Heat. Just to go on a tangent for a second, but yeah, like, it happened once again. But nevertheless, Outlast and Outlast 2, if you're into horror games, definitely check those out. Good games, as I mentioned. And I mean, those two are always going to be standard bearers for horror games, I feel. My horror repertoire of all the horror games I've played isn't as vast as some of you guys, but from what I've played, Outlast and Outlast 2 definitely quite good. Next up, we got XCOM 2, 95% off for $2.99. Now, I wish XCOM 2, the complete collection, was a little bit cheaper. That usually goes on sale for like $9.99. They do have the Deluxe edition for $7.49. Don't pick up the Deluxe edition. If you're gonna pick up a souped-up version of XCOM 2, you get the collection with all the additional content. But the base game for $2.99 is great. The performance leaves a lot to be desired with XCOM 2, but it's a very rewarding and compelling tactics-based title. Not big into tactics games, but XCOM Enemy Unknown ended up really enjoying that back in like summer of 2013 was when I initially played it. Made me excited for XCOM 2. Played XCOM 2, had a great time with that as well. Firaxis just knows what the hell they're doing when it comes to tactics titles. They also did Marvel's Midnight Suns recently, but that unfortunately didn't do all too well commercially, but reception-wise was fairly good. $2.99 for XCOM 2 again. I think that's a fairly good deal. Super Meat Boy, 80% off for $2.99. I mean, Super Meat Boy is one of those iconic platformers that I feel like everybody gravitates towards. Yes, it is going to make you damn near break a controller, so keep that in mind when you get into Super Meat Boy. It's a precision-based platformer where timing is absolutely vital and critical, but it's an enjoyable game, and it's a very addicting game, and it does a good job of continuing that loop and being an addictive experience. Super Meat Boy does work as far as that's concerned. $2.99, good price on that. Titanfall 2 Ultimate Edition, 90% off for $2.99. Another EA game. EA just dominating this list because their games are damn cheap. Maybe that's partly due to they give away these games. I mean, not give away, but they're a part of their subscription service as well, so I guess they don't value them, at least monetarily, that highly, well after release. Obviously, each of these games came out at $60. Tangent over, Titanfall 2 Ultimate Edition, $2.99. Titanfall 2's got a great campaign that is super, super underrated. Titanfall 2 in general is just super underrated. It's one of the poorly handled games of all time where it was released right around the time as EA's own published Battlefield 1. Who thought that was a good idea? Infinite Warfare came out around the same time. Like, I get it that sometimes you gotta put these games out when you gotta put these games out, but if Titanfall 2 was shifted to the spring of, I think it came out in the fall of 2016, spring of 2017, I think it would have ended up doing a lot better, but, you know, hindsight's 2020, but Titanfall 2, great game. Respawn, incredibly talented studio. Definitely go check that out. We got Far Alone sales. That's $2.99. This is a super underrated game. Very, very short and more of an atmospheric adventure than anything. But if you're into that Journey style of experience, and definitely different than Journey, but in the sense that a game that's carried by its atmosphere and its non-verbal cues, like it's not like a game that has a ton of dialogue or anything like that. It's more about engrossing you into the experience, so to speak. For $2.99, I think this is a pretty good pickup and definitely would give that a look if you're looking for something a little bit on the shorter side. And then lastly, Titan Souls, $1.49 with your Plus subscription, $2.99 without your Plus subscription. Look, I didn't absolutely love Titan Souls, but I thought it was a pretty fun little game. Definitely a little challenging, throwback visual style. For $1.49, I think this is a damn good deal. I mean, $1.49, that's ridiculous, given that, you know, the game's pretty decent. Again, I didn't think it was blow-away, but as far as an action title goes, that's challenging and a little bit annoying at times, to be fair. $1.49 is a great, great deal. Any game for $1.49, as long as it's somewhat decent, I feel like it's always going to be a good pickup, so definitely wanted to give Titan Souls a shout. But that is going to do it for me. Again, a lot of great deals as a part of the spring sale. We've been doing in-depth coverage on all of it. Expect more videos here in the near future, and a refresh is coming up. I believe it'll be like April 11th or something like that, so be on the lookout for that. That'll do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.